And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube, race number 11 of the debut season of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series. Getting set to go racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for 41 laps of racing. It'll be a longer race than our trucks and bush races this weekend. After today, we only have two more races left to go until we find out who will be in this season's all-star race. A Aurora starts on the pole position. A Aurora comes into this race 12th in the points, dropped 2 spots down to 12th in the standings, as I didn't mean to hit the chair there. She is alongside of Jessica Miller. Jessica Miller comes into this race in the 11th position of the points, so a couple of drivers inside the top 12. J TwoTwo, the points is second in points, lost the points lead last week at Auto Club, and he's alongside of Ben Erickson in the 41. Erickson comes in this race 20th in the point standings. Here's the rest of the starting grid. A Crenshaw going to be having her work cut out from the rear of the field, and we're going to go ahead and get these cars moving. Get ready for a 41 lap fun fest here today. Points coming into this race are as follows. J Bouvier took the points lead from J TwoTwo. It's now 1 point between the two drivers. B Tennyson 20 points back is third in the standings. 24 back Luke Knight in fourth. Ashley Horton is 30 points back in fifth. Margaret Jacobs is sixth in the standings, only 34 back. 37 back is T Wright in seventh. Cody Smart 38 points back in eighth. Ninth is A Crenshaw 41 points back, and 44 back is Todd Montgomery. Trying to make sure, and that is a wave off. 1 second. All right, looks like Betty Johnson's issues did get fixed. So that was the car that was stalled on the track. There she is. Going to have her work cut out from the rear of the field. Field enter turn number 3. That's why the start was waved off, so that way they can get Betty Johnson push started back to the pit lane before we get this 41 lapper on the road. Pace car is off. Here we go. The Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube. Race number 11 of the Winston Cup Series is green. Viva Las Vegas! J Bouvier qualified in the top 10 here in this race. A Aurora will lead the first lap of the season. Next week, we have Busch and Cup from Talladega and Michigan. That will wrap up the first half of the regular season for the Cup Series before we get into the chase to the chase that will start at Charlotte. A Aurora in the 31, still looking for her first win on the season. J TwoTwo, her teammate, right behind her in second. J TwoTwo's already locked into this season's All-Star race. Todd Montgomery in the third position. Todd is also locked into the playoffs. Zachary Taylor, who is locked into the playoffs. There he is. I was actually going to mention Zachary Taylor right here, running in the sixth position. Comes in this race 33rd in the points. He has a total of 9 points back of 30th in the standings. That would be Monica Towns, who comes in at critical 30th in the points, as Taylor might have scrubbed the wall there in that Kodak Pontiac. So Zachary Taylor, what he needs to do without getting wrecked by Annie Thomas is he needs a good run to get himself back in the top 30 in the points table for his win to count for a spot into this season's chase for the championship. And speaking of Monica Town, she's running in second, and the caution is out. Tatum Wright is in trouble. Brenda Evelyn's got problems. Brenda Evelyn's got some right side damage on the DuPont Chevrolet. Tatum Wright's on pit road. That is a driver top 10 of the points. Tatum Wright. Brenda Evelyn on the flip side, 34th in the points. Not been a good season for her. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened to bring out the first yellow in the early stages of the Pennzoil 400. It's like an incident off of turn number 4. First time we've had an incident off of 4 this weekend. Looks like a 4-wide situation there. Brenda Evelyn got hooked by Tatum Wright. And look at the car. Tatum Wright goes up in the air, nearly collected Senor Sean Art. Thankfully, the 0 and the 24 landed on all 4 wheels. It's amazing that nobody else got involved. And the black smoke erupts on the Net Zero Pontiac. Looks like Tatum Wright's day is done. Brenda Evelyn just does a couple of 360s. And it looks like she also's got some left side damage as well as right side damage on the DuPont Chevrolet. And this is a driver who really could not afford another poor finish. Comes in this race 34th in the points. It's been a struggle for Brenda Evelyn, so not the way she wanted to start off her day. The caution's out for the first time today here at Las Vegas. Let's jump to the restart here in Sin City. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 9 of 41. Should give us a total of 33 laps of racing to go. Lane Aurora is your leader. Monica Town second. Jacob TwoTwo third. Todd Montgomery fourth, Josephine Bouvier fifth. Jessica Miller is sixth. Ben Erickson seventh. Annie Thomas was supposed to restart at 8th, but she's going to come to the pit row with a problem. Zachary Taylor 9th. Melissa Cooper 10th. That will put Brooklyn Carter into the top 10. So not entirely sure what is wrong with Annie Thomas's car. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Annie Thomas came in this race 19th in the points. She came in this race 14 points ahead of 30th in the standings. So hopefully the issue is not terminal. Otherwise, she could be falling outside the top 30 in the points. Tatum Wright's the only driver out of the race. A Crenshaw came to pit road under that caution. Not entirely sure what's going on with the Motorcraft Ford, but we are back to green as we're going to make sure Annie Thomas, whatever the issue is on that 23, she is back out onto the track eventually. I think it's going to be a flat tire. As they're looking to see what's wrong with the Stacker 2 Dodge. Former winner this season, Annie Thomas. Hopefully it's nothing serious, or it could put her behind the wall and out of the race. We'll follow up on the 23 situation in just a second. Lane Aurora going to lose the lead to Jacob TwoTwo. Josephine Bouvier running in the 4th position. Of course, they were 1 point separating between TwoTwo and Bouvier coming in this race, as Annie Thomas still sits on pit road. Still trying to figure out what's wrong with the Stacker 2 Dodge. And unfortunately, Annie Thomas has taken her car back behind the wall with a valve issue. So looks like engine problems hurting the Dodge camp. And I'd be a little concerned about the Dodges that are up here in the top 5 right here, like Towns and Miller, because a fellow Dodge and Annie Thomas is out of the race. And like I said, this could possibly put Annie Thomas outside the top 30 in points, meaning her win would not count for a spot into the playoffs. And as I talked about with Zachary Taylor needing a good run to get himself back in the top 30 in the points table for his season opener win at Coca-Cola to count for a playoff berth. As the 2 Dodges, Monica Towns and Jessica Miller fighting it out. Towns, as I mentioned, came in this race in that critical 30th position in the points. Jessica Miller is 11th in points, gained 5 spots up to 11th in the standings. But never say never in this industry as far as the race is concerned. Annie Thomas was our winner from Sonoma, by the way. Another driver we got to keep our eyes on is going to be Courtney Lynn, as that is not the Cup points. Let's see. Annie Thomas, as I said, could possibly fall outside the top 30 in points. Courtney Lynn drops 4 spots down to 17th in points. And Courtney's going to have to get some better results here. And 36 is not going to cut it. And remember, she was a total of, if I look at the points correctly, she was a total of 25 points ahead of 30th in the standings. So she needs a good run today to also keep herself in the top 30 in points for her win to count for a playoff berth. There's Betty Barrett running in the second position right behind Elena Aurora.